Good morning, all of you. Let me start the class. So far, we have discussed the performance of economy. In that, we continued with the macro aggregates. This third unit we have started in the last week. Today's class, in continuation with the macro aggregates, today we are going to see why we are using this particular macroeconomics instead of microeconomics. So the scope of macroeconomics as well as why we need macroeconomics, the importance or the need for the macroeconomics that we have. Then only it is easy to understand what is the performance of an economy. So let's start with what are the components of macroeconomics. As we already know, micro is individual level or firm level, macro is the aggregate level. So the components of macroeconomics will be the national output, unemployment, inflation, all government policies, all these things are the components of macroeconomics. So when they ask a section A question, you have to mention these 4 points. One is national income output or national expenditure. That one is one part. Employment level, unemployment level, what are the types of employment, what are the theories available, that is the second part. Then we have to say about the inflation and deflation situation, most probably more importance for the inflation. The fourth one, the government policies. So these are the 4 components of macroeconomics. The possible one more section 8 question is, what are the different types of macroeconomic policy? So we are dividing into 3. One is monetary policy, the second one is fiscal policy, and the third one is other policies. Other policies means there are a number of policies in the supply side, as well as the government will try to frame some policy for industrial competition or for environmental policies, how to control the price, or in order to manage the economic situation, they may phrase some policy, the international policy, all these aggregately called other policies. So what are the types? There are 3 types. One is monetary policy, second one is fiscal policy, and third one is other policy, which includes all this, that is industrial policy, environmental policy, international policy, pricing, all these things collectively we will term as other policies. So when they ask in a section A, what are types of policy, you have to mention these 3. You can get all 3 marks. Secondly, last time they asked one particular question, what is the basic concept of macroeconomics? It is similar to that of components, but when you are writing, you have to write some technical terms. Technical terms, instead of writing national output, you have to mention national income or gross domestic product, net national product, disposable personal income, this kind of technical term you have to use. Instead of saying a high price or general price of a consumer, you have to mention inflationary situation. Then you have to tell about total national savings, how it is converted to investment. These are all some basic concept in macroeconomics. But the answer is the same only, but the way in which you are telling should differ. In the other way, you can explain in the other part also, because there will be 2 division, micro and macro, and micro is of very tiny level, that is, it will discuss about the individual level, firm level, or industry level. But macro means it is not only include household, not only in a firm, but also aggregatively it includes. So the whole economic system will be discussed. There will be some economic theories in order to study about the totality and the whole concept of the nation should be discussed. So macroeconomics is a study of aggregates and average of the entire economy. This is what we're trying to be. Let me move to the next slide. In this, I've just continued with the what we're trying to mean by macroeconomics. As we studied earlier, macroeconomics is the aggregate theory. Aggregate in the sense, how to calculate national income, how to measure the total employment, what is the unemployment level, what is the aggregate saving, how the household is making the saving, how it has been converted into investment. For that, we have to study 2 major factors. One is aggregate demand, another one is aggregate supply. These 2 definitely will affect the general price level. So these are all the things that we should study in macroeconomics. So what I want to say in this, The macroeconomics is the study of national aggregates or economy-wide aggregates we are studying. The main tool of this aggregate demand and aggregate supply is the macroeconomic theory. Sometimes they may ask in a section A, what is the scope of macroeconomics? If it is section B, it is easy to write, put the heading, and you can at least, if they ask in section A, just write only the subheading. There are number of theories. The theories includes the theory of employment, the theories of income, the theory of money, theory of price, and you should tell about the economic development and economic growth. So these are the 5 headings that we can explain the scope of macroeconomics. So suppose if they ask in section A, you just write these 5. What are they? Theory of employment, theory of income, theory of money, theory of price, and theory of economic growth. These 5 headings that you should explain. Suppose if they ask in a section A. Suppose it is in section B or section C, you have to divide this macroeconomics into 2 categories. In that, one is macroeconomic theories. The other one is macroeconomic policies. As already told you, what are the theories available? There are some theories related with the national income accounting. There are some theories with economic growth and development. There are some theory related with capital market, stock market. So they are coming under theory of money. M1, M2, M3, M4, these 4 types of money is there. There are some theory for enhancing the international trade. So what you have to say, under macroeconomic theories, there are 6 to 7 type of theories. Theories related with economic growth and development, theory related with the national income accounting, theories related with the money, theories related with the international trade, and theories related with employment, and finally the theory related with the general price level. While explaining about the scope of macroeconomics, kindly mention one economist name called J.M. Keynes, John Maynard Keynes. You have to mention, write that name in a bigger font size. The evaluator should see that, because he wrote one book called Theory of Employment and Income in 1930s. Based on that book only, the macroeconomics gains its importance. Instead of applying microeconomic technique for economy, it is better to use the macroeconomic concept. He is the one who have insisted that macroeconomics is badly needed rather than microeconomics, because it is study about the individual level or firm level. So whenever you explaining about the scope of macroeconomic theory, then you should mention his name, and you should write what his book name also. That is General Theory of Employment and Income. It is one part. There is another part. What is macroeconomic policies? I already told you there are 3 policies. The fiscal policy. Fiscal policy talk about the public revenue and the public expenditure, how they frame. This is otherwise called tax policy. In India now we have implemented goods and service tax, a new system from 2018. So you have to give some information about the revenue collected and the way in which we are collecting the revenue. What is the procedure? How much the public expenditure? How public revenue is generated? For that, how the monetary policy is used? All these things you should write in the fiscal policy. Coming to the monetary policy, as you know, monetary policy is related with money supply and money demand. So there are separate theories for theory of demand, theory of supply, in related with the money, and you should write different types of money, M1, M2, M3, M4. That is in 4th unit, I will explain all these money theories, but while writing the scope, you should tell about money supply, money demand, and different types of money, different system of money, what is gold standard, all these things you should write in this. So I will summarize again. When it is asked in section A, just write those 5: theory of employment, theory of income, theory of money, theory of price, and theory of economic development. Only that 5 lines is enough. Suppose it is asked in section B, treated as the introduction part, and you continue with the diagram. The scope of macroeconomics is divided into 2 categories. One is macroeconomic theories, another one is macroeconomic policies. In macroeconomic theories, there are number of theories related with economic growth, number of theories related with the national income accounting, even national income accounting, physical product, income, and expenditure. There are 3 methods. Likewise, there are number of theories related with money, number of theories with international trade, number of theories with employment and general price level. These are the things that you should include in macroeconomic theories. The second part is macroeconomic policy. There are three types of policy. One is fiscal policy, monetary policy, and other policies. What are the other policies? It is related with the industry competition, environmental policy, and other time to time ad hoc policy they may frame. So this is called the scope of macroeconomics. Why we need this particular macroeconomics? We should give this question is repeatedly asking how the macroeconomic gains is important. What are the importance of macroeconomic, or what is the role of macroeconomics in an economy? So these 7 points you should write. It is repeatedly they are asking. First, keep in mind what the macroeconomics is doing. Suppose you are earning 10,000 rupees per month. Yes, roughly I am saying. So out of this particular money, how you divide for consumption purpose? There are something for saving purpose, something in that consumption. There are different division. Some money for buying the milk, some money for provisions, some money for the newspaper, and some there are different types of money. It is an individual level. It is correct. Suppose in a particular area, what is the income generated and means? Suppose it is a joint family. There are 5 to 6 people will be there. So when aggregation is there, it is very difficult to apply the microeconomic theory. There we can understand the functioning of complicated modern economic system, how it works. Only macroeconomics will give clear idea about how the modern economic system is working. So the function of macroeconomics is how the level of national income or what is the level of employment is determined with the aggregate demand and aggregate supply. This is the very first use of macroeconomics. So that is why it gains its importance. Say the second one, what we are keep on talking about some GDP, GNP, personal income, per capita income, all these things. Only macroeconomic tool can be achieved. It helps to achieve the goal of economic growth. Higher level of GDP or higher level of employment is required. Means what to do means the macroeconomic policy only will give some idea or the way and means to reach that. So macroeconomic gains is important because it will enhance to achieve the goal of economic growth and how to reach the higher level of GDP, how to generate employment, what is the current level of employment, what is the expected level, who are all not employed, what is that rate, and how to reach the highest state of economic growth. All these things, macroeconomics only can help the public. The third point, what I want to say is about the economic stability. With the microeconomics or other type of economics, it's not possible to maintain the stability. Only the macroeconomic policy or macroeconomic strategy will give room to maintain the stability, especially in the price level. There will be a lot of fluctuation in the business activity. All these things should be handled with the macroeconomic policy only because it gives power to measure or control the inflation and deflationary situation. Next point, what I want to say, mention here is the balance of payment. Balance of it's related with the international economics. It's related with the export and import. Total value of export, total value of import. When we try to reconcile the balance in a physical unit called balance of trade. When it is expressed in a money wise, it is balance of payment. How much we have to give to others and what yet to receive. So this particular balance of payment is a macroeconomic concept. Unless and otherwise we are familiar with the macroeconomic concept, it is not possible to study about these international trade, especially the balance of payment. It identifies where there is a deficit. It gives some idea about how to improve it, how to avoid import. For that we are framing some policy of import substitution, how to promote export, which are all the country are trying to get, whether we get the absolute advantage or comparative advantage, all these things. Sometimes we try to suggest some remedial measure for the unforeseen happening. So macroeconomics is right tool for the economic development, especially in terms of balance of payment. The next point that what I want to say is there are some technical terms in economics. We used to call it as poverty line, unemployment level, fluctuation of business cycle. All these things where we can get the data through macroeconomics, through collection of data and aggregation of data and measuring the aggregate demand and aggregate supply only, and measuring the national income only, we can able to understand who are all below the poverty line, who are all middle class, who are all higher middle class, and how the business is moving. Based on the cycle, we can change the research and development or improving the product. All these things coming under the macroeconomics. The final one, what I want to, this will give enough information to formulate the economic policy. Both the fiscal policy and monetary policy need macroeconomic tools in order to frame, implement, and try to get the evaluation. All these things is possible only with the macroeconomic tool. Of course, it coordinates the international economic policy also. The last one is the last one, but not the least. The macroeconomic theory saved the dangers of application of microeconomic theory to the problem of economy as a whole. Suppose every individual try to be a selfish, then definitely the economy cannot be improved. The microeconomic concept always give individual improvement, but what we need for economy is a general improvement. For that, sometimes if you apply the microeconomic concept to the national level policy, reach the failure. So macroeconomics only rescue or save our economy and try to improve the economic development and economic growth. Finally, I will conclude in this way. In case of performance of economy, we should talk about two important factors. One is aggregate demand and aggregate supply. And when it is rises, what will happen? This particular total savings, how much savings is generated in the household sector, how much it has been moved to the industrial sector, and based on these two, how the government is taking the policy. The fourth factor also will be in the foreign sector. All these things are discussed in macroeconomics. This is the scope and it gains its importance because of this. From next class onwards, I'm going to take the sector models. There will be 2 sector model, and then we will be 3 sector model, and then 4 sector model. 2 sector model is, there are 2 sectors. One is household, another one is firm sector. So from household, all 4 factors of production will move: land, labor, capital, organization. For that, from business, it will revert the gain of that. That is, for land, they will pay the rent. For labor, they will pay the wage. For capital, they will pay interest. And finally, everybody will share the profit. So in this 2 sector model, there will be 2 sector, household sector and business sector, and they will exchange their factors of production. In case of 3 sector model, along with these 2, government sector also will be in the scene, and government will involve certain field. Then the next model is 4 sector model. First sector is household, second one is business, third one is government, the 4th sector is the foreign sector. How the foreign direct investment and foreign portfolio investment, the Secretariat of Industry Approval have given right guidance for how to do the trade. Although there are different theories, classical theory, neoclassical theory, modern theory, different theory is available in the international trade. All these things coming under macroeconomics only, because that particular part is an integral part of the macroeconomics. So with this, I am completing today's class. Today's assignment is, you should write the importance of macroeconomics for the performance of economy. I will share in this particular thing. I will share after completing all 5 classes in this afternoon or tomorrow. You can write. Better to write the next hour, another half an hour. Please write and submit in that class. Have any doubt, you can ask me now.